Today I'm upstairs in the studio at Chavella Rosedale. Joining me is actor Jamie. She has beautiful curly hair, and I'm going to show her today how to smooth it out. We're back from the sink where we've shampooed, conditioned, and added a treatment to Jamie's hair. In addition to that, I'm going to add some products. I'm going to use the Smooth Infusion Style Prep, adding a generous amount to Jamie's hair. Because she has a high cuticle, and from watching previous videos, you know that with a high cuticle, we want to smooth that down. So I'm applying the product to the ends of Jamie's hair. And not to weigh down the roots, I'm just going to use whatever's left over in my hands and apply that to the top of the head. And then I'm going to use some Smooth Infusion Nourishing Styling Cream. This adds moisture to Jamie's hair. And once again, just spreading that evenly from the ends all the way to the mid-lengths, and then ever so slightly to the top of the head. If your hair is ultra dry and it requires more moisture, I'm gonna add a couple of drops of the Dry Remedy oil to Jamie's hair, and that should be enough to just give it a nice glossy feel. Something I do suggest is to have a nozzle. A nozzle is gonna help direct the airflow onto the hair where you want it. If you don't use a nozzle, you might find that the hair blows everywhere and you're gonna end up with a really frizzy blow dry. The first step is to remove some of the moisture out of Jamie's hair. If I start her blow dry from soaking wet, it's gonna take a really long time, and if she's trying to copy this blow dry at home, her arms are gonna get really sore. For Jamie's hair, I'm gonna use high heat, high power, because it's gonna get this blow dry done fast, and that's what we want. So we've got about 70% of the moisture out of Jamie's hair, and from here I'm gonna section it off so that I can go in with a round brush to blow dry her hair smooth. I'm using a YS Park round brush. This one here has nylon bristles with bore on the inside. The bore is going to be really nice to help smooth down the cuticle of Jamie's hair. When you're blow drying, you want to make sure to use your round brush the opposite way how you would normally. So typically we would use a round brush for volume by placing the hair over top. I want to straighten the roots, so I'm trying to use as much tension as possible. You can even see I've incorporated my thumb to help pull on that hair. So Jamie's kind of fighting against me. I'm pulling her hair tight in order to create enough tension on this hair. Once I get that dry enough, I'm gonna move to the mid-lengths and ends and then blow dry by stretching the brush down the hair in order to get a nice straight appearance. Now that her hair is straight, you can actually see how small each of her individual hair is. So she actually has fine hair. So again, I'm gonna stay around 370. In order to get a really nice flat iron, you wanna actually use a little bit of tension. So you can see the scalp is gonna move because we have elasticity at the scalp. So I can pull on the hair, insert my flat iron, and almost kind of pump the flat iron back and forth to smooth the roots. Once I get in about halfway, I'm gonna use the small teeth of my comb, and I'm gonna turn the tools into one tool to help feed the hair through the iron. If you have a lot of time, take nice, beautiful sections, but keep in mind the smaller the sections are, the straighter the hair is gonna be. Some people like a little bit of volume at the root, so for you, you can take larger sections. But the important thing is to make sure you're keeping your comb and your flat iron together through the bottom. I've divided Jamie's hair into 2 halves. That way it keeps me from feeling disorganized or overwhelmed and just kind of flat ironing wherever. I have a nice clean pattern this way. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm trying to feed the hair evenly through the flat iron. So the pacing has to be nice and consistent. And when I'm moving Jamie's hair out of the way, I'm not twisting it up. If I twist it up like so, it's gonna end up kinking the hair. Instead, what's better is to simply just fold the hair over the head. So about halfway, adding my flat iron to my comb, and then guiding the flat iron all the way through towards the bottom. So everywhere has been straightened except for around the hairline here. So sometimes what happens is people will leave this hair here because it can be hard to get this piece of hair straight. So what you want to do is you want to pull this hair out with your fingers. And you can see sort of the elasticity of Jamie's skin. It's gonna pull closer to me. So I'll pull that hair close, close, close towards me, and then the same sort of patting movement, I'm going to pull and straighten that hair. Jamie's been blow dried straight and then flat ironed through the mid-lengths and ends. And the last step is to take a little bit of the Light Element smoothing fluid just to add a little bit more shine. So this should last all day or even a week as long as Jamie keeps it out of humidity or out of water.